So it is the MRF Formula 1600 Championship that we've got coming up. Their season is about to start here at the Buddha International Circuit, and here we can see the view down on what has been a damp couple of days here in New Delhi, in Greater Noida, about an hour or so outside of the city centre. And it is going to be a fascinating weekend of racing. This is the circuit out in Greater Noida, 5.14 kilometres long, and it's air temperature 17 degrees, so not that warm considering what we were expecting, but a little bit warmer than it was yesterday nevertheless. And you can see the track there on the right hand side. We are using the chicane at the exit of turns 5 and 6. So that's the circuit, and it's the first time that the Formula 1600 Championship has made its way to this circuit in 2 years. So a lot of these drivers won't have experience of the Buddha International Circuit, so they will be learning an awful lot in the early stages of this free practice session when they get out onto the track in a couple of moments' time. Defending champion Kartik Tirani Singh, he is not competing this weekend. In fact, the top 3 in the championship last year, all not here in Greater Noida, so therefore there's opportunities for other drivers. And you can see the green flag being waved at the end of the pit lane. And it's good news that it is dry out there. I imagine we'll be seeing everyone going out on slick tyres, although there are a couple of damp patches. But there was a bit of a concern that if it did continue to rain, with the good weather conditions forecast for tomorrow, we might not see that much running. But as you can see, the cars are streaming out now onto the circuit. 12 entrants in what is the first round of the MRF Formula 1600 Championship. After this they go to Chennai, then another race in Chennai, and then there's a summer break before the championship returns in July. Out there goes number 2, Anandit Reddy. He is in what is effectively the championship winning car from last year, driven by Kartik Tirani Singh. And the rest of the cars make their way out onto the circuit. There's number 1, Chetan Kurada, the 32-year-old from Chennai. He's out in that plain red MRF 1600 car as he drops down through turn 2 and then starts to climb up the hill into turn 3. Take a very, very wide line in to try and get as good an exit as possible down the long back straight. We're going to see an awful lot of slipstreaming down there, I would imagine, over the course of the weekend. Number 8 up at the front there, that is Ishan Dodiwala, the defending, well, not defending, reigning VW Vento Cup champion, but he is making his single-seater debut this season. He's there in the black number 8 car. Behind in the red and white 12 car is Ananth Shanmugam, the 19-year-old, born in Singapore, and hence the sort of Singapore colours on that car. Red and white split. There is Ishan Dodiwala, 27 years old, from Hyderabad. As I say, making his single-seater debut this season. Fascinating to see how he gets on. Such a big change from the VW Vento Cup, those sort of front-wheel drive touring cars, to a rear-wheel drive single-seater in what is India's fastest national championship. Around the long double right-hander at turns 8 and 9. They're all just trying to give themselves a little bit of space to learn the track, and that is not good news there for Anthony George. The 31-year-old from Kerala is on the track, isn't he? Yes, so oh, he's spun it. He's facing the wrong way coming out of turn 3. So not ideal for Anthony George. And has he stalled the car as well, by the looks of things? The marshals are pushing him away. And back into the pits are coming the cars. So we've only had 10 cars out there at the moment. Well, some of them are coming in, some of them are staying out. So the likes of Anandit Reddy are coming back in, but Ishan Dodiwala is deciding to stay out there for the moment then. He comes across the line. Oh, big lock-up as he comes into the first corner. Very, very tricky braking zone that. And then he'll come up into what may still be a yellow flag zone here at turn number 3. Or will they have removed Anthony George's car by now? Looks like they've got it out the way, haven't they? In fact, is he on... I'm just trying to see if he's on wet tyres there. Looks as though there may be a bit of groove on those tyres, so potentially these guys have gone out on the wets, whereas everyone else has come back into the pits to make a change. Actually, it does look like they're slicks, doesn't it? Just with a bit of marking on them, aren't they? So just as they came out of turn 3, it looked as though there was a bit of marking on there that could be wet weather tyres, but it certainly does look like they are out on the dry tyres at the moment. He's got Chetan Kurada coming up behind him. Kurada's had a couple of years in this MRF 1600 championship. There is that sort of long sweeping left-hander of turn 5 before they come into the right-left flick of 6 and 7. Chetan Kurada looking a little bit quicker at the moment than Ishan Dodiwala. This will be the first lap time that these guys will set after their out lap. .24.5 minutes to go in this practice session for the MRF 1600 chaps. This is up the crest of the hill into the braking for the right-hander of turn 12, and then dropping down the hill to the left-hander of turn 13. And then that is a lap, and you can see Kurada getting a little bit frustrated here, and indeed Dodiwala, well, I thought he was letting him through there for a moment, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Now he does, and Chetan Kurada comes through to set a 2-minute 24.288. That's our first real lap time. Qualifying for these guys comes up tomorrow, and Arya Singh has just gone slightly quicker by a couple of seconds. 2-minute 22.674 for Arya Singh. But we're in the very, very, very early stages of this free practice, and as I say, I think most of these drivers, if not all of them, haven't raced here at the Buddha International Circuit before, so they've got an awful lot to learn. There's Angad Mathuru, number 3. Then it's Chetan Kurada then in number 1. Just kicking up a bit of dust as he hits a bump on the run down into the right-hander of turn 4, another place where you can tend to see quite a lot of overtaking. And I think Chetan Kurada is pretty swiftly going to make his way past Mathuru. Mathuru gets out of the way. He's on an out lap at the moment. Up the crest into 12. Comes the number 3 car of Angad Mathuru, and he now gets well out of the way of Ishan Dodiwala. So let's see what Chetan Kurada has as he comes through the final corner now at turn 13. Out across the line, the timing line is just there, and he cuts it and sets a 2-minute 20.205. But he is the sort of first man out on the circuit, so he's always going to be the first man across the timing beams. Ishan Dodiwala improves to a 2:24.989, not quick enough to depose Arya Singh. but it's Kurada quickest at the moment, then Singh, then Dodiwala. This man Matharu is now on a flying lap. Here is Anadith Reddy, the 2015 VW Vento champion. As I say, in that car emblazoned with the Indian colours that Kartik Tarani Singh drove to such success last season. Alex Bora has jumped up to third quickest. Meanwhile, so it's Kurada, then Singh, then Bora, then Dodiwala, and Vivav Parker, the last of the 5 drivers to have set a lap time so far. Still got Anshul Shah, Nayan Chatterjee and Anas Shanmugam in the pits. Anthony George is, I'm not quite sure where he is actually, because he spun, didn't he, coming out of turn 3, so that may be the end of his run. Under then the start gantry comes Anadith Reddy to go quickest of anyone by 9 seconds. So Anadith Reddy, certainly the first man to really get on it. A 2:11.161 for Anadith Reddy. He actually may have, a little bit twitchy as he comes into turn 3. He may have raced here before with the VW Ventos, actually. I'll have to look into that one, but nevertheless, to go 9 seconds quicker than anyone else on your first flying lap is a pretty decent effort. Let's see if we can continue that kind of pace over the course of the weekend. Sits quite high in the cockpit, doesn't he? Helmet certainly protrudes. Very easy to spot. Ishan Dodiwala has just gone third quickest now. Ayaz Singh has dropped down to 4th place. And Chetan Kurada has brought the gap to Anadith Reddy down to 6 seconds. So Kurada's starting to get into the swing of things. As Reddy comes up through 8 and 9. Only Anshul Shah is in the pit still. Chatterjee and Shanmugam have made their way out. Alex Bora jumps up to 3rd quickest now in the number 7 car. Still 9 seconds off Anadith Reddy though. So this man is absolutely flying. I wonder if we'll see an improvement this time around. Just tries to adjust his left wing mirror a little bit, doesn't he? A little bit of a scruffy lap from Reddy. Will it be an improvement on his 2:11.161? Yes, it is. It's a 2:10.084. So Reddy is absolutely flying out there. Comfortably quicker than the rest of the field at the moment. Here now is Anath Shanmugam. Talking about him a little earlier, born in Singapore, only 19 years old. Ayaz Singh, the youngest driver in the field, at 15. Oh, straight on. Shanmugam straight over the chicane at turn 5. So Reddy quickest at the moment, then Chetan Kurada 2nd, Alex Bora 3rd, Ishan Dodiwala 4th, and as if by magic there's the order down at the bottom there. Ayaz Singh behind. And Matharu completing the top 6. Although, just as I say that, some of the cars are streaming over the line, and that means that Ishan Dodiwala has now jumped up to 3rd place. 4th for Ayaz Singh. Matharu's just jumped up to 5th, and Alex Bora drops down to 6th position. Alex Bora, a race winner in the RGB category. They're sort of, I'm not quite sure how to describe them. Like, imagine little KTM crossbow kind of things, like that. They're really funky. Anyway, here is the number 5 car of Nayan Chatterjee. Another one of the up-and-coming young racers, 19 years of age, from Mumbai. That red and white car. Pretty much halfway through this first practice session for the Formula 1600 guys. They have 2 free practice sessions, 1 qualifying session and 2 races. It's a very, very lively looking car, isn't it? As Nayan Chatterjee tries to get it turned in to 10 and 11, now he's coming up through 12. Really working at the wheel an awful lot. Up in front of him is Chetan Karada. Meanwhile, Anadith Reddy has come across the line to go even quicker, a 2-minute 8.654. So you do get the feeling, don't you, that Reddy is one of the only drivers, if not the only driver, to have raced here before. Certainly looks as though he's getting up to speed with the track quicker than anyone else. That man Chetan Karada there in car number 1 is in 2nd place at the moment. Ayaz Singh has just jumped up to 3rd quickest, with Ishan Dodiwala dropping down to 4th. Alex Bora and Angad Mathuru completing the top 6. Then it's Chatterjee in 7th and Vibhav Parker in 8th place, although he's not really done a representative lap time. Yet to see any lap times from Anshul Shah or Anthony George, although I think George's session is over. And that is less than ideal for Vibhav Parker. He has come to a halt on the run down towards turn 5. The marshals are on their way. Vibhav Parker looks as though he's taking the steering wheel out. This meanwhile is Chetan Karada again, as Anadith Reddy once again goes quicker, a 2-minute 7.787, 5.5 seconds clear of Ananth Shanmugam, who has jumped up to 2nd place. So good lap time there from Shanmugam. And now we've got grinding to a halt Angad Mathuru, who is 7th quickest at the moment, looking down at his steering wheel, trying to get the car going again. We've seen 11 cars. The one driver we haven't seen so far is Jai Sampath Kumar. As Chetan Karada improves, but remains in 3rd position. Here's Ayaz Singh, 15 years old, from Calcutta. Just set a personal best, a 2-minute 14.8, still 7 seconds off the pace of Anadith Reddy. If it were a one-off lap from Reddy, you'd think he'd cut a chicane somewhere, wouldn't you? But he's been consistently chipping down his lap times. So when he was doing, so a couple of laps ago he was doing 2-minute 11s, and now Ananth Shanmugam is doing a 2-minute 11.9. So I think they will ultimately catch up with Reddy, but they're all just taking different times to get to that ultimate lap time. just over 11 minutes to go. The order is Reddy, Shanmugam, Kurada the top three, then Shah. Anshul Shah's jumped up into 4th place. Ayaz Singh has dropped to 5th. Ishan Dodiwala is 6th. Then Alex Bora, Angad Matharu, who I think is still going, having ground to a halt. I think he's got moving again. Nayan Chatterjee is in the pits at the moment. He's in 9th place. We saw Vibhav Parker stopped on circuit, and I don't think he has got going. And Anthony George as well has had a spin at turn 3 in the very early stages. I think it was on his outlap, and doesn't appear to be taking part in the session anymore, as Ayaz Singh slows down and decides to come into the pits then, in 5th place at the moment. So there, number 12, Anand Shanmugam has just come across the line to go 2.3 seconds slower than Anandit Reddy. So he's starting to close in that gap. Anshul Shah is the number 14 car behind, the black and orange number. Like a kind of Embassy Hill car, doesn't it? With that sort of one red stripe up the front of the nose. As we see Ishan Dodiwala just getting out of the way in that black number 8 car. So Anandit Reddy seems to have kind of settled down at a 2 minute 7.787. He's not really improving. That last lap was a 2 minute 8.1, whereas everyone else behind him is continuing to pull the lap times down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're sort of reaching the limit, and we'll start to see everyone else start to edge in, because at the moment Shanmugam is 2.3 seconds back. Chetan Kurada 1.8 seconds back from him. At the moment the top 4 are covered by 6.3 seconds, but that will undoubtedly shrink. Through the final corner, here comes Anand Shanmugam. Let's see if he can improve this time around. Yes, he can. A 2 minute 8.2, only half a second off. Anandit Reddy now. So Shanmugam, one of the all over the place coming into turn 1, really having to wrestle with the car, but he's turning into an exciting talent, is Shanmugam. As he heads now down the back straight, although Reddy meanwhile comes across the line and sets a 2 minute 7.506, so the gap is back up to 0.8 of a second between first and second. 7 minutes on the clock. Reddy has also done 3 more laps than Anand Shanmugam. through turns 8 and 9, really having to fight it. Into the final sector of the lap now. Just a couple more corners to go. Just a little bit of time down at the first corner on the brakes. But in general, it's looked reasonably neat and tidy from Shanmugam. Out of the final corner now. Is he going to improve on his 2-minute 8.286? Across the line? No, he doesn't. He's about 4/10 off. Will Reddy improve? That is the next question on this particular run. He does, but only by 1/10 of a second. So nothing too dramatic. The gap is 8.5. There is Anadith Reddy then, the quickest man so far. 8.5 tenths of a second back to Anand Shanmugam. Third is Anshul Shah, who's been doing MRF 1600s for a couple of years now. Chetan Karada is fourth. Fifth is Arya Singh. Sixth is Alex Bora. Seventh, Ishan Dodiwala. Just quickly just swap them around. Alex Bora's just gone fifth quickest with Singh sixth. Seventh, Ishan Dodiwala. Eighth, Angad Matharu. Ninth, and still in the pits, is Nayan Chatterjee, with Vivav Parker and Anthony George not doing any more running. And Chatterjee, actually, I think we saw stopping on the circuit, didn't we? So we managed to make it back to the pits, but not make any more progress from then. Chetan Karada in fourth place is soon to come across the line. We're watching, whoa, a big slide from Anadith Reddy. Coming through turn 5, skips straight on, so this won't be an improvement this lap. Even if he does improve, it'll be disallowed because he basically cut the corner. No improvement from Chetan Karada, he remains in fourth place. Now, Anadith Reddy is getting a little held up by Ishan Dodiwala. Not able to find a way through, and now, quickest of anyone goes Anand Shanmugam. So Anadith Reddy, the man we're watching for the first time, isn't top of the timing screens. Goes for a move into the final corner. Gets some clear air now for this. Oh, where's he gone? He's gone out well wide. That's going to compromise his next lap as well. But it's Anand Shanmugam who is the quickest man of anyone. A 2-minute 7.358. Anadith Reddy drops to second. Anshul Shah remains in third place. All very scrappy here for Reddy. So there's only 0.07 of a second between Shanmugam and Reddy. So that's the quickest man so far, with only 2.5 minutes left on the clock. So he'll get one more lap after this one, will Anand Shanmugam, if he wants it. So Shanmugam coming up the hill towards turn 12. Let's see if he can improve again this time around. Anadith Reddy's lap was very, very scrappy, so I'm not expecting many improvements from him. See him eyeing up the apex as he arrives now. Gets on the power. And across the line for Shanmugam. Is it an improvement this time? No, it's not. 1/10 of a second slower than his best. Here's a replay of, ooh, big moment there for Angad Matharu. Big lock-up coming down to the first corner. A minute left on the clock, so this man Shanmugam has one more run at it. Anthony George is back out in that orange car. That's good news, but he'll only have had a lap or so. Anadith Reddy decides to come into the pits then, with 43 seconds left on the clock. So will we see one more improvement from Shanmugam? This is Angad Matharu, the 29-year-old from Chandigarh, who had that lock-up coming down into the first corner, so I wouldn't expect this lap time to be stellar. He's 5th quickest at the moment though. Last lap was an improvement, a 2:12. What's it going to be this time through? Any improvements for Angad Matharu as he cuts the timing beam? No. He remains in 5th place and the checkered flag is out. So that is the end of the session. Anadith Reddy has come into the pits, so is Ishan Dodiwala. This man though, Anand Shanmugam, is still out there. He's got a lot of clear track. So you'd imagine he may be able to have a good run. On what is the final lap of his session, or will he decide to return to the pit lane? Let's have a look. He still looks like he's pushing. Yeah, he's going for the apex. So can he finish off this first free practice session with a flourish? He's going to end it quickest whatever happens, and he was about 4/10 off the pace on that final lap. But Anand Shanmugam having a very impressive start to his weekend, ending the first free practice session quickest of anyone. Anadith Reddy in 2nd place, Chetan Karada 3rd. The top two separated by only 0.07 of a second, and then it's 3.5 seconds back to Chetan Karada in 3rd. 4th for Anshul Shah. Although we've still got a couple more drivers to come across the line, so I better not do the full order just yet. Anshul Shah, yes indeed, because Chetan Karada on that final lap set his best time and he's jumped up into 4th place. We've just got Angad Matharu and Alex Bora to come across the line, and then when they have done so, we can give you the full rundown. But I think it's unlikely anyone will beat the time set by that man there, Anand Shanmugam. (2:07.358). That's the benchmark. And Alex Bora has come into the pit, so he is not going to improve this time, and so has Angad Matharu. So it finishes with Anand Shanmugam quickest, then Anadith Reddy in 2nd, 3rd for Arya Singh, 4th is Chetan Karada, 5th Anshul Shah, 6th Angad Matharu, 7th Ishan Dodiwala, 8th for Alex Bora, 9th for Nayan Chatterjee, 10th for Vibhav Parker, although he didn't really manage to set many lap times at all, only 4 laps for him. And Anthony George got out there again in the end, but well, it took him 30 minutes and 28 seconds to do 1 lap. So yes, not an ideal session there for Anthony George, but an ideal session for Anand Shanmugam as he returns to the pit lane now. A lot of confidence going into the well, we've got a 2nd practice session later, and then qualifying session tomorrow, and going into the championship season in general. Always a nice way to start. Here's a look at the results then. Anand Shanmugam, the quickest at a 2 minute 7.358, just 7/100ths of a second quicker than Anand Reddy in second place. Third position for Arya Singh. Chetan Karada ending the session fourth quickest, just ahead of Anshul Shah. Those two setting very, very similar lap times. But it's Anand Shanmugam who's quickest in free practice 1. So here's a look at the highlights of the session. Anand Reddy was one of the first men out, if not the first man out, but that man, Anand Shanmugam, was one of the ones to watch as everyone fought for some space. There you can see a spin in the early stages for Anthony George, and that meant he didn't get much running in at all. Everybody was battling to try and find some space on the circuit. That was Chetan Karada going past Ishan Dodiwala coming out of the final corner. Once again, Chetan Karada making track position. That didn't cost him too much time there, but Anand Reddy was the man setting the pace pretty much for the whole session. Certainly for the first, let's say, 27 minutes of it, he looked like the man to beat. Vivav Parker ground to a halt. Unfortunately for him, coming down towards turn 5, that was the end of his session. In the very early stages, the man from Goa. But Anand Reddy was still flying, but then he was starting to get held up a little bit. That was by Ishan Dodiwala, then as a result missed his braking zone. But it was Anand Shanmugam who, at the checker flag, was the quickest man of anyone. A 2 minute 7.358 in free practice 1. So, very impressive stuff from Anand Shanmugam, and he will looking for a very impressive performance in free practice 2, and then qualifying in the races that we've got coming up this weekend, and you'll be able to see them all here on the live stream in the first round of the MRF Formula 1600 Championship of 2017. After this, we've got a couple of races in Chennai before the summer break. But let's hear from the fastest man in that session, Anand Shanmugam. He's talking to Louise Beckett.
Yeah, I have got the fastest man from free practice 1. A good performance from you.
Yeah, so I'm surprised that I was the fastest because it's a pretty scrappy session for me. It's my first time in these cars, and to be honest, I enjoyed it, but there's some room for improvement. I'm sure the others are going to catch up, and it's going to be tighter over the few sessions and qualifying.
First time out on this circuit, what are the conditions like?
Yeah, I'm surprised actually. The grip level is pretty good because it's really cool, and the tires are working well as well. So I think there's still room for improvement from the driver's side, as well as to optimize the car, but I'm sure it can get a lot faster throughout the weekend.
Okay, well, we look forward to free practice 2 from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
We're all looking forward to free practice 2, and that man, Anand Shanmugam, certainly is, because he's the quickest man of anyone at the end of the first free practice session. We've got Formula 2000 practice coming up in a few moments' time, but it's Shanmugam quickest in Formula 1600.
इसका तो मेरे को पता नहीं कैमरा उतार लेते हैं कैमरा वहाँ रख लेते हैं वहाँ एकदम रात को लगा के गए
Program is fine, director is fine, but we are director program.
So you want to hear yourself?
So if you put these on. So this is quite loud if I'm talking quite loud in my ears, but none of them seem to change that. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Even when I turn them all down, it's still very loud in my ear. So I don't know where. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Because I thought it would be this one. Oh no, hang on, that's B and C. But so where's commentator A? That's the only problem, but it's not too bad because I can just wear them off my ears. But that's the only problem. Director program isn't fine, but
I can put in more
it's
tracks
okay because
on
I'm clicking.
Then when we some switch they would have used for intent.
Yeah, that's the only thing is it's a bit loud for me. But like I say, everything else is perfect. Thank you very much.
हेलो 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 हेलो
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Normal level. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Hey, 1, 2. This is lip 2. This is lip 2. Normal level. This is lip 2. This is lip 2.
So it is time for the VW Vento Free Practice 1 here at the Buddha International Circuit. And these cars are just lining up at the end of the pit lane, ready to go in, well, only about 5 seconds time or so. It's turning into a reasonably pleasant day here at the Buddha International Circuit. Air temperature is on the rise after a bit of rain this morning, a lot of rain yesterday, and we are in Greater Noida, about an hour or so outside of downtown Delhi. There is the green flag, and out onto the circuit come the VW Ventos. It's Aaron Shoury Valaben who is the first man out there in the number 2 car. Sandeep Kumar heading out there as well. What is a pretty big field of Ventos, and we're very much looking forward to the races that we've got coming up this weekend. The Golf liveried car there just leaving the pit lane as well that you saw. That's a very good looking car, isn't it, as they come up towards turn 3 and then make their way down the back straight. This is the first free practice session for them, the first chance for them to get on the circuit this weekend ahead of their races that they've got coming up over the course of Saturday and Sunday as well. Lights ablaze on some of them too as they weave their way along the back straight. There is Sandeep Kumar in that Golf liveried machine. A couple of them, in fact, all liveried up the same. There's Ameya Walwalka as he comes through the right-hander of turn number 5. They will try and get some heat into the tyres. It is Karminder Singh at the head of this queue, followed by Jeet Jabak. There you can see Sandeep Kumar. And oh, a spin! Someone facing the wrong way in the very, very early stages. Was that Jabak? Quite make it out as he swings through the turn 5 and 6 sequence of corners. But a little bit of drama in the early stages. Sandeep makes his way through turns 8 and 9 now. Again, the back end stepping out just a little bit for him. So these Ventos, a little bit lively. Karminder Singh, meanwhile, is all by himself up at the front. He's got a lot of clear air in front of him. The champion last year, Ishan Dodiwala, has moved up to the MRF Formula 1600 Championship, as had the previous year's champion Anandit Reddy, so the door is open for a new champion in 2017. Out of the final corner comes Karminder Singh, and across the line with 27 minutes to go in this first free practice session, and straight on and into the pits there goes Sandeep Kumar. So he decides to come into the pits as Karminder Singh gets on the brakes and turns into the right-hander at number 1. Turn 2 really an acceleration zone. Well, I think the last time the MRF 2000s raced here, some 2 or 3 years ago, we did end up with someone upside down there. I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the Japanese drivers. But nevertheless, yes, Sandeep Kumar has returned to the pits. He's the only man to have done so far. Maybe just something not quite right with his car as lights ablaze for the number 9 car of Karminder Singh. The hairpin of 4 and then down towards turn 5 where we saw that spin earlier on. We've seen 11 cars out there on the circuit so far. First of these little chicanes. See an awful lot of traffic further up there at turns 8 and 9, but that is not going to be bothering Singh at all by the looks of things. He's quite going to catch them quickly enough for them to really cause a problem. The hill towards turn 12, and this is going to be our first representative lap time. Looks pretty neat and tidy, you have to say. There is the traffic jam coming up behind, and he is just going to get onto the back of it now, isn't he? And he's going to lunge it up the inside of Dhruv Dayal. Makes it through, and this lap time, as Karminder Singh comes across the line, is a 2:26.020. As everyone else is sort of kind of driving like they would on the road, aren't they? It's like they're queued up behind and they're indicating to come past. And now we've got Eklavya in the number 7 car, seeing if yes, they move out of the way for Karminder Singh. Ameya Walwalker has gone second quickest, with Aaron Shauri Vallabhen third quickest at the moment. Gautam Murugan is in 4th spot. They're the 4 drivers to have set a reasonably representative lap time. Singh, very appropriately liveried VW Vento for this weekend of racing, the MRF Challenge. Sandeep Kumar has left the pits now. He came in at the end of his out lap, has now gone back out again. Also Jeet Jabak has come into the pits too, but at the moment we're still watching Anmol Singh on his first flying lap. So down the hill towards turn 13 comes the number 11 car of Anmol Singh. Karminder Singh meanwhile has just done a 2:25.723, but Anmol Singh about to set the first lap time, and it's a 2:40.3. Ameya Walwalker, whoa, a lot of smoke up front. Looks as though someone's had a bit of a lock up there. But Ameya Walwalker has gone second quickest, 2.2 seconds slower than Karminder Singh. Aaron Shauri Vallabhen is third quickest at the moment, with Gautam Murugan still in 4th spot. Here is Murugan in that 4th position, 5 seconds off the back of Karminder Singh. Just 21 and a half minutes to go in this first free practice session, as Murugan comes out of the right-hander at turn 3 and then down that long back straight. Of the 12 cars we've seen out on circuit, probably only 6 of them have set a reasonably representative lap time. Now onto the braking zone for turn 4 for Gautam Murugan. Jeet Jabak is back out on the circuit now. He's about to come across the line and start his first flying lap after deciding to come into the pits in the early stages of this practice session. Now Sandeep Kumar has gone quickest of anyone, a 2 minute 25.444, a quarter of a second up on Karminder Singh. So the number 5, similarly liveried to this one of Gautam Murugan, is now quickest of all. 2 minute 25.444 with Karminder Singh. Well, no, as I say that, Karminder Singh comes across the line and does a 2 minute 24.0, 1.4 seconds quicker than Sandeep Kumar, but is sort of 1 lap ahead in terms of learning the track, because Kumar opted to come into the pits at the end of the installation lap. So the lap time's tumbling. Here, meanwhile, is Aaron Showry Valaben coming into the final corner. Not really troubling the apex. He is 4th quickest at the moment. Last lap at 2 minute 29.6, and he goes half a second quicker than that, but remains in 4th position. No, he doesn't, because there goes Gautam Murugan across the line, and he drops Valaben down into 5th place. Number 7 there is Kliavia. Out of the final, the 3rd corner and down the back straight. Anmal Singh is the driver in front. At the head of this queue is Sean Parmeshwar, 6th quickest at the moment, setting a personal best on that last lap time, but he is 9.5 seconds off Karminder Singh at the head of the order at the moment. We're about to see Sandeep Kumar come across the line. It wasn't a good lap from Sandeep Kumar, over a second slower than he's managed previously. So it's still Karminder Singh who is the quickest of anyone so far, 2 minute 24.0. Then it's Kumar, then it's Walwalker, then it's Murugan. Top 5 completed by Aaron Showry Valaben. 6th now is Pravanj, who was in the pits for quite a long time in the early stages, but having only completed 2 laps, the first flying lap, he's got himself up into 6th place. Sean Parmeshwar, who we were watching a moment ago, is in 7th. Anmol Singh is 8th. Eklavia is 9th. Kartik Tarani is 10th. Hasn't really set a representative lap time, nor has Dhruv Dayal and Jeet Jabakar and Anandith Reddy. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Anandith Reddy has just left the pits and headed out onto the circuit, so it seems as though the 2015 VW Vento champion is going to take part. It just took him a bit of time to get from his Formula 1600 car to his Vento, as we watch Ameya Walwalker, who, as you saw, is in 3rd place at the moment in car number 3. Is this going to be an improvement? Out of turn 13, across the timing line. Yes, a 2 minute 27.1. Anmal Singh, meanwhile, behind, jumps up to 4th place. Walwalker doesn't make any improvements positionally, but did make some improvements in terms of time. So Singh, Kumar, Walwalker, and as I say that, Gautam Murugan jumps up into 4th place as well. There is Karminder Singh, quickest driver so far on that last lap, did a 2 minute 23.997, first driver to dip into the 2 minute 23s. And Karminder Singh, be positive is the quickest man so far. Oh, and Ishan Dodiwala's out there as well. Okay, so we do have the two defending champions of the last 2 years, Ishan Dodiwala and Anadith Reddy, both competing in the VW Vento Cup. I didn't think they were because they weren't out at the start of the session, but they've obviously got out of their 1600s, jumped into their V-dubs, and now they're in the session. So fascinating to see what sort of pace they have. They're on their first flying lap now in cars 14 and 15 respectively. But we're watching Karminder Singh. Are we going to see an improvement this time through as he comes down towards the left-hander of turn 13? Through 90 degrees. My apologies, he's at 10, isn't he? 10 and 11. And then up the hill towards 12 for Karminder Singh. Jeet Jabak is in the pits again. That's his second visit to the pits in the early stages, and there's a little bit of lawn mowing, and that is from Anadith Reddy. He's properly gone off there, hasn't he? Coming through the chicane at turn 5. So the 2015 champion maybe taking a couple of moments to get acclimatized to the VW Ventos rather than the single seat as he was driving a moment ago. Karminder Singh, meanwhile, at the end of that lap decided to come into the pits, so no improvement that time around. We are over halfway through the session. Anmal Singh is coming out of the final corner in 6th place at the moment. Any improvement? Yes, up to 4th on a 2-minute 28.163. Still the top 6, or let's say the top 8, covered by 5.5 seconds. So quite a bit of field spread still in these early stages. Here is Sean Parmeshwar in car 4, being followed by Amaya Walwalker in car 3, and they are in 5th and 3rd respectively for Parmeshwar and Walwalker. Ishan Dodiwala has come straight back into the pits. Meanwhile, here is Sandeep Kumar, 2nd at the moment, 1.4 seconds slower than Karminder Singh. Are we going to see an improvement? Very dramatic swerve towards the right-hand side of the circuit as we look at it. Back end just kicking out a little bit. Comes into the right-hander of turn 1. That last lap a 10th slower than he'd managed previously. As we watch Sandeep Kumar in car number 5, currently in 2nd position. Heading down that long back straight. Almost there. I think there's a little damp patch of water, isn't there, just as they come over that crest. I've seen a couple of little splashes. So you hear Kumar fire up through the gears. Bit wide there. In trouble with the stewards if he continues running like that. Amaya Walwalker has decided to come into the pits from 3rd place, so it's Karminder Singh, Sandeep Kumar, Amaya Walwalker, Anmal Singh, Sean Gowda, Murugan, the top 5. Then it's Parmeshwar, Vallabhen, Eklavya, and Pravanj and Kartik Tirani, the top 10. And then Dhruv Dayal, Anadith Reddy, the top 12. Yet to see a lap time at all from Jeet Jabak and Ishan Dodiwala. we've seen them out on circuit, but they keep returning to the pits. Anadith Reddy, bam, straight in there, up into second place. 2 minute 24.3, 4/10 of a second slower than Karminder Singh, as we see Sandeep Kumar returning to the pit lane. So that wasn't going particularly well, and he's decided to return to the pits, but Anadith Reddy straight in there then. Here is a very poorly sounding Aaron Showry Valaben, and in fact the red flags are out with 11 minutes left on the clock. We've got a red flag, so we'll try and get to the bottom of why that is. He's still going for it, isn't he? That is Anadith Reddy. Still gunning it down the back straight. He'll start to back off now, but he is the man who has slotted up into second position, the 26-year-old from Hyderabad. And the cars now returning into some of them driving straight into the garages, which I'm a little bit surprised about. And I thought they might have stopped on the pit apron, but you can see all the VW Motorsport gang there sending the cars back in. So well, soon we'll find out who we've still got out there, who hasn't returned, and a potential reason for the red flag. There is Dhruv Dayal, car number 1, just slowing down, looking for a place to park, and he's found his garage. Anadith Reddy still out there. He hasn't come into the pits. We haven't seen Valaben, Anmal Singh, Gautam Murugan, Sean Parmeshwar, and I think that's the end of the session. It says finish on the timing screens, so one thinks that they've decided to red flag it, and as a result are going to end the session there. We'll wait for confirmation of that, but that appears to be what the timing screens are suggesting. And if that is the case, it'll be Karminder Singh who ends the session quickest of anyone on a 2 minute 23.997. So here's a look at the highlights of that session as the cars made their way out onto the circuit. There was a lot of jockeying for position in the early stages. That was Amaya Walker making her way past the 2 car of Aaron Showry Valaben. An early spin for Jeet Jabak, and he would come into the pits on a number of occasions before the session was over. Never actually managed to get in a decent timed flying lap. Karminder Singh though was flying and ended up being the quickest of anyone in that session. Had to deal with a lot of traffic in the early stages, but eventually found some clear air and set that 2 minute 23.997 as it looked like the motorways of Delhi out there. Then there was a big moment for Anadith Reddy. Some real grass cutting for him. Managed to get going again, just about. Quite fortunately he was able to do that after all the damp and all the rain we have had over the past few days here in Delhi. So the cars are making their way back into the pits. The checkered flag has been flown after that red flag, and that is the end of the first practice session for the VW Vento Cup. You can see some of the drivers there taking off their helmets, and that is their work done for now, but they do have another practice session coming up just a little bit later. So it's Karminder Singh who was the quickest of anyone, a 2 minute 23.997 at the end of that first free practice session. Anadith Reddy in second place with only 1 flying lap, so watch out for him. Sandeep Kumar third, Amaya Walker in fourth, with Aaron Showry Valaben completing the top 5 at the end of that first practice session. So that is the conclusion of the first free practice session. We've got Formula 2000 practice 1 coming up in a little bit. Looks as though the marshals are doing some work on the curbs, but it's Karminder Singh who is quickest. And 6th in the Italian and German Formula 4 championships this year with the Prema Power team. In what was his rookie year, so he'll be hoping for a little bit more next year. Joey Mawson raced there as well and won, in fact, the German Formula 4 championship, beating Mick Schumacher into 2nd place. And have we seen Schumacher out? Yes, we have. He has made his way out onto the circuit. As they come up now towards turn 12. And Narain Karthikeyan in the test car is the first man over the line and down in towards the first corner. Working hard at the wheel there, isn't he? Is Narain. Had a couple of Formula 1 seasons with Jordan and with the HRT team. As he heads up the back straight. Cars getting up to some serious speed, probably about 130, 140 miles an hour. It's a big old bump actually, isn't it? I think it's a bump rather than in the first couple of practice sessions I thought it was like a puddle. But I think it's just a bump where the cars are scraping along the floor now. And we've got all 15 cars out on circuit. And just off the circuit there for a moment was Manuel Maldonado. Very early to be going off the circuit, but Maldonado. Here comes Karthikeyan up towards turn 8 and 9. As I say, we've got all 15 drivers out there because Chia Wing Hoon, the Malaysian racer, has just left the pits as well. So let's see what happened here. Everybody sort of running a little bit wide. Oh, and then Maldonado drops it. Does he hit the barrier? No, not quite. But the cousin of Pastor Maldonado, spinning in the very early stages. 26 minutes to go. So here comes Narain Karthikeyan to give us our first benchmark lap time, and he sets a 1 minute 54.488. He has been out already today, Narain, running that car for a couple of test laps earlier on today. So let's see who's going to be next to come out of the left-hander of turn 13. Looks like it's Harry Newey. And across the line comes Harry Newey and does a 2 minute 1.006. Season of Formula 3 European this year for Harry Newey, after having a good run in the MRF Challenge last year. But he's had 3 wins so far this season, the most wins of anyone. Won the first race in Bahrain and then races 1 and 3 in Dubai as well. Second in the championship as it stands behind Joey Mawson. Lost quite a lot of points with 2 DNFs, one in Bahrain and one in Dubai. So expect him to be a front runner. Rinus VK, or Van Kamphout, has returned to the pits after his installation lap. Joey Mawson has gone second quickest on that first flying lap. Then it's Yuri Vips, Mick Schumacher, Kimi Schramm, with Harry Newey dropped down to 7th place. But again, first time on the circuit for a lot of these drivers, so you'll see the lap times start to tumble. Big lock-up on the left front there from Harry Newey. So he tries to get it up into 12. And through the final corner of 13. Let's have a look and see what lap time this is. He goes second quickest on a 56.0. But expect to see the lap times continue to fall when the likes of Joey Mawson and Yuri Vips come across the line. And indeed, Joey Mawson does go quicker by 0.6 of a second, so Joey Mawson up to second quickest. Rinus VK is back out on the circuit. This is Felipe Drogovic, the 16-year-old Brazilian who picked up a number of karting titles in Brazil. Last year was his first season in cars in the German Formula 4 Championship, where he picked up a podium. And has got sort of progressively better over the course of this MRF season, taking a win in the reverse grid race in Dubai, but then 2 second places as well in race 3 and 4 out in the United Arab Emirates. So that number 11 car of Felipe Drugovich really starting to build up some pace. He's now behind Rinus VK in the number 2 car. Up in front of him is Kimi Schramm, and in the pits is Ralph Aaron, the 18-year-old Estonian, one of 2 Estonians in the field. This will be frustrating for Felipe Drugovich, getting held up there. Whoa, very, very wide for Kimi Schramm. And very, very wide there for Joey Mawson. So he's gone off the circuit. These guys really pushing the track limits, aren't they? Really pushing to extremes. Snatching the left front there for Kimi Schramm. So Harry Newey has now gone quickest on a 1:54.322. We won't see Joey Mawson beat him. In the first, there have been 2 qualifying sessions this season, one in Bahrain and one in Dubai, and both occasions the front row have been filled by Newey and Mawson. Newey on pole in Bahrain with Mawson second, Mawson on pole in Dubai with Newey second, and there is Joey Mawson. But from then on, the grids are set by race results as Mick Schumacher comes out of turn 3. That fluorescent yellow helmet really stands out in the 25 car. Turns into that right-hander and then starts to drop down the hill in towards the left-hander at turn 5. Up in front of him is Joey Mawson. Schumacher's 7th quickest at the moment in these very early stages, only 10 minutes gone in this first 3 practice session. And then 4 races over the course of the weekend for Formula 2000. Harry Newey doesn't improve that time through. Once they've completed these laps, we'll give you a rundown of the order. Let's see what Mick Schumacher can do. He's currently 7th quickest, 3 seconds slower than Harry Newey. Out of the final corner comes Schumacher and jumps up to 5th. Halves the gap. So it's a 1:55.8, although Yuri Vips has now just jumped up into 3rd position. Dylan Young up into 7th. So the order is Harry Newey quickest of anyone, then it's Narain Karthikeyan in the test car second, then is Yuri Vips, then Felipe Drugovich, and then Joey Mawson completing the top 5. Mick Schumacher 6th, Pedro Cardoso 7th, 8th for Dylan Young, 9th for Kimi Schramm, and Yoshiaki Katayama completing the top 10. Then we've got Manuel Maldonado in 11th, Rinus VK 12th, Pavan Ravishankar is in the pits in 13th, then Ralph Aaron and Chia Wing Hoon, as we were just looking at Dylan Young there. He's up in 8th place at the moment. Been a reasonable season for Dylan Young. Had a 5th place finish in the most recent race, the final race in Dubai. I think maybe his best MRF result. This is the only racing, as I say, he does pretty much all year. Now Harry Newey has just gone quickest again, a 1 minute 54.049, and Mick Schumacher goes second quickest, only 4/10 off him. So Newey quickest, Schumacher second. Is Dylan Young going to improve as he comes through? Yes, he is. He jumps up to 7th place. Yuri Vips didn't manage to improve on that lap, and as a result he has dropped down the order. Pedro Cardoso jumps up into 5th place. Yuri Vips on that last lap was, what, just over 2 seconds off the pace, so you wonder if he had traffic potentially. Very quick peddler in Formula 4 last year. Number of karting titles under his belt as well. And only 16 years of age, from Tallinn in Estonia. And that, pulling up at the side, is Rinus VK. Now he had, well, it looks as though he's got going again, so that's good news, because he had some gearbox troubles in Bahrain that really put pay to his weekend. Basically 4 non-finishes. As a result, he's a long way down the championship order that is being led by Joey Mawson. Again, all of the road and just a little bit more being used by Yuri Vips. Here's a replay of what happened. Oh, there we go. Back end just gets away from VK as he comes through the left-hander of 5. Newey, meanwhile, has just improved again, a 1 minute 53.726, but Joey Mawson improves too and sets a 1 minute 53.739, so just 13 hundredths of a second between Harry Newey and Joey Mawson up at the front. Then it's 7/10 back to Mick Schumacher in 3rd. Halfway through this first free practice session, lock up from Yuri Vips as he gets on the brakes into turn 1. The order is Newey, Mawson, then Pedro Cardoso in 3rd, Schumacher, Kartikeyan, Vips, Drugovic, Young, Schramm, Katayama, the top 10, then Ralph Aaron, Manuel Maldonado, Rinus VK, Pavan Ravichanka and Xiao Wing Hung, the 15 drivers to have set a lap time, and the only 15 drivers we're expecting to set a lap time. But this is Harry Newey, quickest man of anyone, but only by 13 hundredths. Improve this time through as he comes down to the final corner at 13. "14 minutes and 15 seconds to go at 14 hours and 15 minutes. And Harry Newey does improve again, 1 minute 53.481. So he keeps coming across the line and finding more and more time, Harry Newey. Can Joey Mawson follow suit? He's a 1/4 of a second down now on Harry Newey. Felipe Drugovic decides to come into the pits. Mick Schumacher goes second quickest now, what a 1 minute 53.650, just a 10.5 slower than this man Harry Newey. Joey Mawson didn't improve that time around. Mawson, it is leading the championship. He's had a very impressive 7 podiums, but his first win came in, really pushing, isn't he, Harry Newey? But Joey Mawson's first win came in that final race in Dubai. So before then he'd had 6 podium finishes without actually winning a race. Now that crown, I suppose, goes to Yuri Vips, who has had 2 podium finishes without winning a race. Felipe Drugovich back into the pits then. As the Brazilian has a little bit of a conversation there. Just chatting to Matteo Pirinanzi, his engineer. But here's Harry Newey. Any improvement this time around? 53.481 to beat. 52.865. He's absolutely flying, Harry Newey. He's finding quarter of a second, quarter of a second, quarter of a second every single lap. Can anyone come with him? That's the question. He's now 8 tenths clear of Mick Schumacher. Wait for Schumacher to come across the line. Also into the pits is Manuel Maldonado. Rupert Svensson-Cook there, a former champion of the MRF Challenge, having a little discussion. Lovely little elbow patches. Joey Mawson goes second quickest now, 4 tenths off. There is Mick Schumacher across the line. No improvement from him this time in car 25. So he drops down to 3rd position. Yuri Vips jumps up to 4th. So Newey, Mawson, Schumacher, Vips, Cardoso, the top 5. Then Dylan Young, Carter Kayan, Drugovich, Aaron Schramm, the top 10. Katayama, Maldonado, VK and Ravichanka and Hung completing the 15. This is Mick Schumacher, 17 years old now. Joey Mawson going through. Then Pavan Ravichanka, and then Mick Schumacher. A bit of traffic up in front of him. Trying to find a way around Ravichanka as they come down in towards turn 10. Not able to do it just yet, and this is going to be wrecking his lap. Harry Newey decides to come into the pits now, so he is done for this run. 10 minutes to go in the session, so I imagine we'll see him back out there. Probably just coming into a couple of little set of adjustments. Schumacher comes into the pits as well. A lot of them are putting new tyres on, we believe. So learn the track on a set of older tyres, get up to speed, stick a new set of slicks on, and off you go. Oh, big lock up there. Pavan Ravichanka just about getting it stopped. 4th in the AFR series in 2016. Driving a Formula Renault basically, so should be very used to these kind of cars, albeit a different engine in these MRF Challenge cars. It's the same sort of size of single-seater, but the 17-year-old man from Singapore is currently 14th quickest. There's Kimi Schramm in, there's Mick Schumacher in. Out he goes. Number 99 there is Ralph Aaron. And this is Chia Wing Hung, Malaysian, who is 15th quickest at the moment, but he is taking about 2 seconds a lap off his lap time, so getting quicker and quicker, Chia Wing Hung. fronts, he tried to get on the brakes there. This, meanwhile, is Yoshiaki Katayama, 2016 Japanese Formula 3 champion. Hasn't had the best of runs in MRF. The best results of 7th place in the final race in Dubai. Before that, a handful of points with a 9th and 2 10th places. Very new he's in. Making a few adjustments to the rear wing. As Katayama now comes down towards the final corner. Decides to come into the pits. So Harry Newey still in. Joey Mawson, meanwhile, has put in a good lap, a 1 minute 52.917, only half a tenth of a second away from Harry Newey. Yuri Vips has gone 3rd quickest, 7 tenths off the Newey-Mawson battle up at the top of the order. Here is Felipe Drugovic, who's back out, one of the first drivers to come into the pits. Presumably one of the first drivers on some new tyres for the 16-year-old who won the reverse grid race in Dubai earlier this season, late last year. It's Pedro Cardoso now, the Brazilian, makes his way out. 2015 South American Formula 4 champion, 7th in Brazilian Formula 3 last year with High-Tech. Did 4 races last season in MRF, with his first full campaign. Only 1 podium, but a handful of 4ths, a 5th and a 6th. So expect him to be up there up at the front. Here comes Joey Mawson across the line. No improvement this time around for the Sydney sider. Second in British F3 this year, or last year I should say. Beat Mick Schumacher to the German Formula 4 Championship the previous year. It was certainly a very exciting prospect. He's in that sort of multicoloured blue 96 car. There's a look at his lockup again, which will cost him a little bit of time. Harry Newey back out there. Then it's Ralph Aaron in 99. Behind him, Joey Mawson. Less than 5 minutes to go in this first free practice session for Formula 2000s. Harry Newey passing Xiao Hung, and Joey Mawson passing Ralph Aaron. So here we go then. Let's see what Joey Mawson can do. Not deciding to come into the pits, Joey Mawson, and put on a new set of tyres. Decides to stay out there, but he and Harry Newey come across the line together. Now, the problem for Mawson is he will have to pass Xiao Hung before too long. And that could cost him a little bit of time. Up to turn 3. Well, that's the best place to pass him. Maybe a little bit held up coming through the hairpin of turn 3. As Mick Schumacher goes quickest, a 1 minute 52.766 for Mick Schumacher. Look at that big bump on the run down into 4, I should say. My apologies. So Mick Schumacher a tenth of a second quicker than Harry Newey. Schumacher was leading the championship before a double retirement in Dubai last time out. Here he is coming down the back straight. only Narain Carter-Kane in the pits. All the other drivers are out on the circuit as the back end tries to just wriggle away a little bit from Schumacher. Here we've got Yuri Vips, who's in 4th place at the moment. That last lap he improved and got up into 4th. Harry Newey goes quickest again, 1 minute 52.523. Quarter of a second quicker than Mick Schumacher. But Schumacher is coming towards the end of his lap now. Hasn't been too badly dealt with by Pavan Ravichanka. Out of the final corner comes Schumacher. Are we going to see an improvement from him this time through? No, we're not. A couple of tenths slower. So the order is thus: Newey, Schumacher, Mawson, Vips, Carter-Kane, the top 5, then Drugovic, Cardoso, Young, VK and Aaron the top 10, then Kimi Schramm, Yoshiaki Katayama, Pavan Ravichanka, Manuel Maldonado and Xiao Wing Hung. Here's Harry Newey, then quickest man of anyone, 1.5 minutes to go, so he's got this lap. And yeah, probably one more. Into 12. Using all the road and a little bit more. Yes, he will get one more lap out of this one. Whether the tyres are past their best or not will remain to be seen. Any improvement this time through then from Harry Newey, the 52.5 to beat, and no, 52.7, so about 1.5 tenths, 2 tenths off the pace. Joey Mawson across the line, he doesn't improve either. Remains in 3rd place for the time being. Here is Schumacher. As he turns through the final corner, will we see an improvement from the German? Yes, we will, but he remains in 2nd place, 1/10 of a second slower than Harry Newey. And there is the checkered flag. So Schumacher did just cross the line before the checkered flag came out. So if he wants one more run, he can have one more run. Meanwhile, Felipe Drugovic has jumped up into 4th place, deposing Yuri Vips of that 4th spot. Dylan Young, Yoshiaki Katayama, Rinus VK, Kimi Schramm, Ralph Aaron and Pavan Ravichanka have all taken the checkered flag. But here comes Schumacher. He and Harry Newey have one more run. If they decide to take it, depends on how the lap is going as well, presumably. Harry Newey in the final sector now. Through turn 5 comes Schumacher. Once again, the back end dancing away. Yuri Vips losing a little bit of time there as he gets stuck behind Xiao Wing Hung, and it is even quicker for Harry Newey. His last lap then, 1 minute 52.340. Only this man, Mick Schumacher, can beat it, but he's got Hung up in front of him. Will Hung be out of the way into 10? No. That will cost Schumacher a little bit of time. Not too much, he still managed to get pretty promptly through. But it'll be a tough ask for him to beat Harry Newey's time. As the German turns through the final corner, the checker flag is falling. Is it going to be Schumacher or Newey quickest in free practice 1? It is going to be Harry Newey. 52.340 for Newey. 3 tenths ahead of Mick Schumacher. Joey Mawson in 3rd place, the championship leader. Then Felipe Drugovic and Yuri Vips, the top 5. Carter-Kane, Cardoso, Dylan Young, Yoshiaki Katayama and Manuel Maldonado completing the top 10. Rinus van Kalmthout is in 11th place. 12th Kimi Schramm, 13th Ralph Aaron, 14th Pavan Ravichanka, 15th Chia Wing Hung. But it's that man Harry Newey ends the session quickest. Took pole position for the opening round of the season in Bahrain, and is looking to continue that form here. Performance from Dylan Young up in 8th place. Who else stands out? Yoshiaki Katayama in 9th position. Good lap time from him. There will be concern, I think, for Ralph Aaron, who had a very good run in Bahrain. Won one of the races, 2nd and 3rd, so he got 3 podiums in 4 races in Bahrain. Then didn't compete in Dubai, and here he's down in 13th position at the end of that first free practice session. So he's got some work to do. He's the main driver, sort of out of position, I would say, in that top 15. As Newey makes his way back into the pit lane now. Joey Mawson up in front of him. 0.8 of a second, covering the top 5 on their first run on the circuit. As they push Harry Newey back in, Louise Beckett starts to march over towards the Englishman. Both he and his father Adrian pictured with the MRF car at the Autosport International show earlier this month. As the rest of the cars return and then get pushed back into the garages. So, the end of the first free practice session. Narain Karthikeyan lit the tyres up on the way out. He's in the test car, but it was number 4, Harry Newey, first on track and first on the timing screens at the end of the run. Everybody looking for a little bit of position to try and get into a position to get some heat in their MRF ZLO tyres. Most, in fact, going out on a set of old MRF ZLO tyres. There was a spin for Manuel Maldonado early on. Lucky to keep it out of the wall. And he managed to get going once again. There was also a spin a little bit later for Rinus VK, as the drivers pushed very, very hard, using all of the track and a little bit more. There was the spin for Rinus VK, coming through turn 5, and Mick Schumacher actually having to take evasive action. VK did get going again and would end the session at 11th quickest. But it was number 4, Harry Newey, who was in a world of his own, really. Quickest lap time after quickest lap time, consistently finding 2 or 3 tenths of a second per lap. Mick Schumacher did his best, but could only end the session in 2nd quickest. Yuri Vips ended the session in 5th place after a good run for the Estonian. Mick Schumacher tried to take the quickest time on the last lap, but couldn't quite do it after getting held up behind Chia Wing Hung, and he ends it 2nd quickest. So Harry Newey it is, who ends the first free practice session the fastest, and now we can hear from him. He is talking to Louise Beckett.
Yeah, Harry Newey's first time here in India, or in Delhi, and you put it together right at the end there, fastest lap at the end.
Yeah, no, I was happy with that lap. I mean, I think there's a couple mistakes in it, but these cars are hard to drive. It's a challenging circuit, and you know, it's never going to come right on the very first attempt. But no, I was pretty happy with that effort.
Schumacher not too far behind, though, as the season's been so far.
No, he's very close. So is Mawson. I think everyone's going to be quick. You know, Aaron's going to come in there to play. So no, I mean, it's only first practice. Got plenty of time to go, and at the end of the day, you don't get any points or trophies for practice.
You mentioned Joey. Who else are you looking out for?
looking out for Mick. I mean, you've got Drogovic in third, who, you know, has just been a consistent player, to be honest, throughout it. And, you know, you've got to watch him, obviously, because he could be the dark horse and come through without any of us watching. So, yeah, Mick as well, Joey. Ralph Aaron's going to be quick this weekend. He's not in the championship because he missed Dubai, but for sure he's going to be quick.
We don't want to dwell on Dubai and some DNFs there, but what are you looking for this weekend?
I'm looking to pick up points, really. That's my only aim. I mean, I've got the most wins of anyone so far, so to be honest, I'm just going out to finish all the races and do the best job I can. The more wins, the better. But yeah, no, it's really about points now.
Thank you.
No problem.
So no points or prizes or trophies for free practice. You do get some points for pole position, but as Harry Newey says, he has got the most wins of anyone. He's won 3 times over the course of the season so far, and he's quickest at the end of the first practice session, 1 minute 52.340. Just a quarter of a second, well, 3/10 really quicker than Mick Schumacher in second place. Australian Joey Mawson in third position. Felipe Drogovic, the Brazilian, finishing that session 4th quickest, with Yuri Vips completing the top 5. But with Harry Newey quickest, it was a very impressive performance from him. They've got another free practice session coming up a little bit later on. Make sure you join us for that. But it's first blood to Harry Newey here in the MRF Challenge.